What up, reader fam? Today I am bringing you a poetry book haul. It's one of my 2017 resolutions to kind of dive into the poetry world because that's something that I am so unfamiliar with. So I kind of went crazy and bought a lot of poetry books. This is probably going to be a quick haul because I don't know that much about these collections that I picked up. I kind of just picked them up on a whim, but hopefully I end up enjoying the ones that I picked up. Without further ado, let's dive into the haul. First up here, I have a poem for every night of the year, edited by ALLIE ESIRI, and can we just take a second to look at how beautiful this book cover is, because it is stunning. It is so beautiful. It's got that shininess to it, and also just the design on it is just perfection. A+ book cover. This is a great way to make sure that you're actively reading poems because it gets you to read a poem every night before you go to bed, basically. That's what I've been doing. It's got so many different poems by different poets, and it's just kind of nice variety on the topics that it covers as well. Next up, I picked up Stuff I've Been Feeling Lately by ALICIA Cook. This is a poetry collection that focuses on different things that we all face in life. Things like death, love, family, and growing up. But what I find really interesting about this collection is that it's set up like a mixtape. Side A is poetry with the topics that I just mentioned, and on side B, she takes those poems and she remixes them with blackout poetry. As you can see, she kind of blacks out her poetry and makes new poems with the original poems. How awesome is that? And I just thought that was such a clever concept, so I had to pick this up. Next, I have The Chaos of Longing, a poetry collection by K.Y. Robinson, and I'm gonna be honest, I was drawn to this one because of the cover. It is beautiful, it's simple, but it's really nice. It's got this nice pink, and then we've got these upside down hanging flowers, and it's just really nice. This poetry collection covers topics like mental illness, trauma, and everything that comes with falling in love. The ups and the downs! It's supposedly very triggering though, like it's very detailed on the topics that it talks about, so if this sounds interesting to you, you might want to do some research before picking it up. The next one I have is one that I believe to be very well loved, and that is Milk and Honey. I feel like this is a very well loved book in the book community in general. I've heard so many booktubers and bookstagrammers talk of their love for it, so I definitely wanted to pick this one up. This collection is split up into 4 parts. We've got the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. I believe this has a heavy focus on abuse and breaking out of that abuse, and just being a stronger person because of the journey that you've been on. This collection also has illustrations throughout it, and I love me some illustrations, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I've actually already started it. As you can see, I've got some tabs up in here because there's some beautiful words up in here, y'all. Next up, I have SONATA Melodica by Rita Dove. This is a random one that I picked up at Strand Bookstore in New York City. I was just browsing the shelves of the poetry section and came across this book right here, and I honestly just really wanted to buy a book that day. Like, you know when you just go into a bookstore and you know you're gonna buy something, even though you don't know what that is? That's what happened here. That's what happened in this situation. I believe this is a story told in verse about the relationship between the black violinist George Bridgetown and Beethoven. Next up, I picked up 3 Tang Dynasty poets in this beautiful Black Penguins Classics edition, and I want to collect all of these editions just because I think they would look so nice all together. This is a collection of poems from 3 of the greatest Chinese poets, and these 3 lived during the Tang Dynasty, hence why this collection is called 3 Tang Dynasty Poets. Common sense. Next up, I have Soft Magic by CHISALA, and I'll admit this is one that I picked up not knowing anything about, but I believe it's a debut collection, and it focuses on topics like self-reflection and joy, and I believe I saw a review and it was like, this kind of felt like a self-help book, so I'm interested to see what kind of life advice I get through this book, but I'm looking forward to reading it as well. Next, I have No Matter the Wreckage by Sarah K. I believe Sarah has been writing for a while, but this is her first poetry collection. I think she's mostly shared her poems online and in public spaces doing spoken word poetry, but this is her first collection and it focuses on self-discovery and just also discovering the world around her. Finally, the last one that I picked up is Now We Are 60 by Christopher Matthew. I kind of picked this one up because I felt like I was picking up a lot of serious poetry collections and I wanted something that's kind of more humorous to kind of throw into the mix, and this one sounded like it had that humorous factor that I was looking for. So what Christopher did with this collection is that he took poems by A.A. Milne, which I've never heard of that poet, but I believe this poet wrote poems for children, and they're just focused on growing up and childhood and everything that comes with that. So he takes those poems and he rewrites them in order to make them relatable for 60-year-olds. It just sounded like it would be funny and a fairly lighthearted read, so I decided to pick it up. So those are all the poetry collections I have to show you guys today. Like I said, I am a noob when it comes to poetry collections, so I don't know if any of these are good, if they're terrible. I didn't really look into it that much. I just kind of wanted to dive in and get started on this poetry journey that I'm currently on. But I would love to hear if you guys have read any of the books that I mentioned in today's video, and I would also love it if you guys would leave me down below some poetry book recommendations if you have any. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so be sure and go and click subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with the new video. Bye, choo!